some gallows humor. Hey, if you happen to be Christian, I'm not necessarily going to bash you, but I'm going to mock you easily as much as I mock atheists, agnostics, occasionally Buddhists. And it's not necessarily a mean spirited mocking, it's mostly just a we need to be able to laugh at everything. And I accept the fact that if people are offended, I'm usually going to hope they're going to talk to me. That's a little bit off topic, but there are a couple things that I want to mention specifically with regards to you and that guy over there being their authentic self. Another term that you hear bandied about in support circles is meeting people where they are. One thing that I've discovered over time is in order to meet people where they are, you really have to have an idea of where you are. And not just the best version of you that you want people to see. The honestly vulnerable one, the honestly occasionally ignorant, sometimes downright stupid one. And you have to be willing to put that out because it really does give an extra sense of safety to people who may otherwise be unwilling to share more of themselves if it seems that you're not necessarily sharing yourself. A great example, in the years that I was in Toastmasters, one of my biggest issues with Toastmasters was people would get the technical side of their speeches practiced so much that any semblance of sincerity would just be removed entirely. And for me, that was really difficult because if you've got a great story, then for heaven's sakes, share it and share all of it. The good, the bad, the unpleasant, etc. So, a second point, just because you are your authentic self doesn't mean it's an authentic self that someone else wants to be around. It's not any particular flaw with you. It's just people tend to find the people that they resonate with better. You may be a little bit off on someone's frequency. Someone may have past concerns that don't necessarily approach some of your sensibilities. Heck, for all you know, you could have an absolutely wonderful relationship with someone, inadvertently poke a trigger that they didn't even know that they had, and they're gone forever. It happens. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. More important than making sure that your authentic self resonates with other people is making sure that your authentic self resonates with you. And that you are the person that you want to be. And that you own the person that you want to be. Lastly, and here I think is one of the points that kind of can be a little bit contentious, or I could be wrong. In my mind, you have an obligation to continually refine what is your authentic self. Your authentic self is going to grow and change as you gain more information and as you gain more experience. Or at least, for heaven's sakes, it really should. Without growth, there's stagnation, and stagnation brings rot. It's not just enough to be a still pond without anything stirring up the muck. It brings literal rot, and without growth, you will begin to die on the vine. It is your obligation to society as a whole to look at your behaviors on occasion and to say, okay, well, yeah, granted, this behavior of mine doesn't seem to be acceptable, but I'm going to own it. But maybe sometimes it's not necessarily the thing you should be owning, realistically. Hey, fat middle-aged white guy